Marvel's Spider-Man, guys, was an incredible experience in my opinion. There's certainly things that I love, things I didn't like so much, and things that I would love to see different moving forward in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And with that, guys, I want to give you the top 5 things we want in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And when I say we, guys, I'm talking, mainly my opinions here, but some of you may agree, some of you may disagree. I want to know, though, in the comment section down below what your top 5 things that you want to see in the upcoming Spider-Man game. So with that, guys, let's get into it. So, guys, look, Miles Morales, after seeing the announcement trailer and all of that, I'm incredibly excited about it, to say the least. And there's a number of things we could probably talk at nauseum about, all the different things that we would love to see out of this, this continuation of Spider-Man in, video games. And with that, though, number one for me, guys, is I want to see a longer campaign. And I know that there's been talks and rumblings that the campaign is actually not going to be that long at all in Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I think that would be an absolute travesty in my opinion. Just because if it's going to be like a 6-7 hour campaign, and there's potentially nothing else to do outside of that, the campaign and maybe some side missions, I just really want to see a longer campaign than what's being reported. I also want to see a longer campaign than that of the first Spider-Man. Because one thing, guys, that we can probably all agree on is that after you beat the Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man game, it was always fun just to kind of sling around the city and, do some side missions and things of that nature. But after a while, it starts to kind of get stale, right? And most of us would probably just move on to another game if there's nothing else to do. And so I think having a longer campaign keeps us playing the game. And that kind of leads me into number 2, guys. Whereas with number 2, having more things to do along the journey, having more side missions, having more, different things that we can do, where you aren't playing as the web slinger, you can just walk the streets and you are able to kind of walk into stores and just do all kinds of different things, guys. I think having an even more open world experience would be absolutely awesome. And having more side missions and things to do after you beat the game one time or even a couple of times through, you have just more things to do, like I said, along the journey of this upcoming title. And that leads me to number 3, guys, which is multiplayer and co-op. One big way, guys, that you can, brings people back to a series or to a game in particular is multiplayer experiences. Having multiplayer where you get to play with your friends, or you get to play co-op together with your friends, or even just other people out there in the world who love Spider-Man as well. And I think it's really important that they have this, especially if it's going to be a 7-hour campaign. And they're probably going to try to justify, they will most likely try to justify a $60 price tag for a 7-hour campaign, and we're not getting anything else outside of that, which we don't know that at this point. But I'm saying if they did state that it was only going to be a campaign and some side missions and it's only going to be 7 hours, that does not justify a $60 price tag in my personal opinion. I think that they need to be having other ways in which we can not only connect with the universe and connect with this world that they're building, but I just don't think it makes much sense for a developer to just do the campaign if we're just going to leave that, after beating the campaign a couple of times through, leave and play other games. Don't you want to have everyone play your game for a significant amount of time, and I'm talking come back over and over again? Multiplayer and co-op absolutely would do that for this game. And that leads me, guys, into number 4, which is getting back to the story, guys. I would love to see Peter Parker be a playable character. I can't wait to learn more about Miles Morales, but I think it'd be awesome, especially if there were co-op experiences, especially if there were, throughout the course of the story, if having Peter Parker within the story, that, the two of these characters come together and obviously, are, whether, Peter Parker's a playable character or if he's playable through multiplayer or whatever the case might be, guys, I would love to see Peter Parker come back into the story in one way, shape, or form. And I think that he should have a role here. I really do. I feel that he needs to have a role as well as Miles Morales. Sure, I think it's awesome that they're going to have Miles as the guy, right? The web slinger here. And I just love that concept because we know so much about Peter Parker already, whether it's the comics, the movies, whatever it might be. Miles, we don't know as much about, and that's why, at least for me, I don't know much about him at all, and so that's why I'm so excited to really learn more about Miles in particular. But I also want to see, you know, a Peter Parker in this story as well in one way, shape, or form. And that leads me, guys, to number 5, which I think is really important. This gets to kind of the mechanics of the game and even things right outside of that, is having new moves. New moves, obviously, guys, that, you know, Spidey's able to do, and having different new weapons that are at your disposal, having new enemies you're going up against, new environments, which obviously, guys, I think having new environments, new locations throughout the course of the campaign is really important as well. But having some existing characters like Peter Parker, having some new characters altogether, new enemies, new villains, but even having some existing ones so things feel familiar to us within the course of the story. And that leads, you know, to locations as well. Having like locations that you can explore, like new places to explore, which I'm sure they're of course going to do, guys. But that makes it really exciting, you know, would be really exciting to me to have some familiarity, but also having some significant differences. Taking some risks along the way might not be a bad idea either, whether that's with some of the moves, whether that's with some of the new enemies, whatever it might be, guys. I think that they have something special here. There's the groundwork for something that could be really special with Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I'm excited to explore that. I'm just hoping that it's a full package. I hope it's not just a 7-hour campaign, and then after you're done, you can sling around the city, do a couple of side missions, and then you end up moving on to another game. I really want there to be more to do here, that after we're done with the campaign, playing it a couple of times through, we can play multiplayer. We can do those things with our friends in co-op or whatever it might be, Spider-Man Online or whatever it is, guys. I just want more ways that we can continue connecting with this franchise. But with that, guys, I'm going to pass it on to all of you. What are the top 5 things that you guys want in Spider-Man Miles Morales? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Spider-Man Miles Morales content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.